Hi, I'm Dr. Johnny. Thanks for joining me today. I'm talking about Botox injection sites to look natural. 20 years ago, people come in, they'd say, hey, I want to get Botox injections. I'm scared anyone else would know. I'm scared about its safety. Well, now there's thousands of peer-reviewed articles on Botox, what it does, how it works, and the safety. Rarely do I hear that anymore. I still hear a little bit, funny enough, people get their teeth done, no problem. Their hair done, not a problem. Nails, brows, but a little bit of Botox, there's still a stigma involved. If it's your first time getting it, I understand it. Everyone's a little different. We have to go home to our spouses, our family, our friends. In certain communities, like the Beauty Belt. What's the Beauty Belt? California, through Texas, all over to Miami. That straight line across the country, it's a badge of honor. But for some, we're scared, we want to look natural. I'm going to tell you today about the two areas to get treated if you want the most natural look and the bang for your dollar for your first Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, Jeuveau type treatments. So let's get started. 3 seconds. Okay, so you're gonna take the plunge, you're gonna get Botox treatments, or you're a provider and you're like, hey, I want the home runs. I wanna treat the areas that are on label, that look the best, that won't lower or change the brow shape or give me that eye droop. And I also want patient satisfaction. And if you're a patient, you don't want to have changes in your mouth movement, changes in your smile, or droopiness. What are the areas? There's two main areas. Remember, neuromodulators like Botox, that's what Botox is. There's 4 in this country, and I mentioned the other in the outro, the other 3. So you have choices, they're all a little different. I even have a video on comparing the 4. What are the different levels in them? How do they work? Which one should you choose? I have a whole video on that. But they all work similarly and they slow muscle movement down. So it's counterintuitive, but what we're doing is stopping the crunch, stopping the orbicularis oculi muscle from creating lines. We're not building collagen. In a sense, we're not creating youth. So we're not creating better texture in the skin, other than it does stop some oil production. So it can help consequentially with pores, but in general, we're just stopping muscle movement. So the point of that is, don't miss your collagen builders like your PDO threads, like your retinols, like your vitamin C, all the other things, avoiding sun and sunscreen, using sunscreens. Do all those things, because Botox, contrary to what many people think, it makes you look young, but through stopping muscle movement. I have a whole video on Botox, dirty little secret. Watch that one, because that talks about just that. So the number one area to treat for bang for the dollar is the glabella without the lateral corrugators. A lot of people get away without the one above the eye. You can treat it centrally, what's called the procerus and the medial corrugator. Those 3 will lift the eye medially, subtly, don't be scared here, subtly, and stop you from looking angry. Keep in mind, when you walk down the street, if the mouth is turned down, if there's a scowl here, people walk around you for that reason. Nowadays, they walk around you because they're scared of getting something, but in general, they avoid you if they believe you're unhappy or angry. This area here, likely part of why it helps cure depression or help with depression, is it makes people a little wide-eyed open, just a little bit subtly, and that millimeter in the eye is a lot. Makes you look, the difference between being rested or being sleepy is about 1 millimeter or 2 in the eye. Big difference. So it helps with that. It helps you not look angry because you don't get that furrow or that scowl. And when you get it done each time, it shrinks the muscle a little more, so it lasts a little longer and it looks a little better if you get it done a couple times in a row, especially if you have a deep furrow. So that's the glabella, the frown, whatever you want to call it. Providers do it all the time. On-label treatment area for Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, Jeuveau. Then around the eyes, on-label for Botox. The other ones are used what we call off-label, but really common. And we can treat People call them the canthal folds, or bicularis oculi, the muscle, the crow's feet, the lines around the eyes. Particularly men come in for these. And I have a whole video on the frown and of course just eyes showing these injections so you can see what they look like. Also, I have before and afters in those videos. I'll put a link to those below, and at the end of the video you can watch them. But those are the two areas. When you treat here, especially if you treat up by the brow, you'll get a nice lateral lift. So now we've lifted the medial brow, lifted the lateral a little bit to give a brow lift, made people look rested, slowed down the lines around the eye, and that's a nice refreshing look. Highly, highly unlikely to get anyone angry for looking upset. No one will know. You'll just have less lines and folds and look refreshed. Now, other areas we use, definitely the forehead, the downturn of the mouth, depressor anguli oris, common. Around the mouth for vertical lip lines, the chin for dimpling. There are fine facial movement lines around those, however, and those lines, when we get rid of them with slowing the movement down, can change expression a little bit. They can change speech a little bit. So you're working with your provider. Those are more advanced areas. Also the masseter, if you're grinding teeth, if you have too wide of a jaw, or if you feel like you don't like the shape of the face because it's more square, you can treat the masseter. The more muscle, the more neurotoxin. The more Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, or Jeuveau, because there's more mass. The facial muscles are smaller. When we get into here, that can be the same amount you put in a glabella, 20 units per side, would be an average dose. So it's much more expensive to treat larger muscles. I hope that helps. That's natural treatments of Botox. Have you had it? Do you like it? Click subscribe, like the video, click the bell so you join us for all the upcoming videos and watch the videos related to Botox on my channel. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.